Black police officers? What is it like to be in that field of work during the BLM movement? My dad's a black cop. That sentence alone turns heads when I say it out loud, especially over the past few years. The looks I get from classmates, neighbors, even some of our own family, it's like I've said something offensive. Being black in this country is complicated. Being a cop is complicated. But being both, that's a different level. Growing up, I spent a lot of time around cops. Not because I was in trouble, but because my dad treated the precinct like a second home. Some kids get dropped off at school in minivans. I got dropped off in a squad car by whichever one of his buddies happened to be heading that way. I've eaten stale donuts from the break room vending machine more times than I can count. I've seen grown men get emotional over lost cases, cops hugging families who've lost someone. And yeah, I've also seen the tension, the stress, and the quiet pressure of always needing to be better than perfect because of the color of his skin. When the Black Lives Matter protests really picked up after George Floyd, things changed fast. My dad didn't talk much about what it was like at work, but I could see it on his face when he came home. Tired, stiff, like his uniform had gotten heavier. He used to joke around with the guys at the precinct, play music while getting ready in the morning, keep the mood light, but that summer he stopped doing that. He told me once that it felt like he was being pulled from both sides of a rope. The BLM activists saw him as part of the problem, no matter how many times he'd spoken out against bad policing. And the other cops? Some of them saw him as disloyal, especially after he started speaking up more. There were looks, there were comments. One guy even asked him if he was gonna start kneeling with the protesters now. My dad didn't say much back, just walked away. That's when he started a group called PAR, Police Against Racism. He built it from scratch with a couple of other black officers who were just as exhausted as he was. The goal was simple: educate cops on racism, not in a fake seminar way, but through honest conversations. He'd bring in speakers, organize meetings, even pushed for policy changes within the department. They started small, just their city, but then it spread. A few departments in the next county reached out, then further. It wasn't huge, but it was something. The irony is, my dad's the reason I don't hate cops. I get why a lot of people do. I've seen the videos, I've heard the stories from my classmates. Some of them followed around in stores, some of them slammed onto hoods. That stuff happens. You'd have to be blind not to see it. But my dad always made sure we saw the full picture. He'd take us to barbecues where his fellow officers, black, white, Hispanic, would show up with their kids and talk about the job like it was just another kind of service, like teaching or nursing. I've seen them drop off groceries to an elderly couple on their beat. I've seen them knock on doors just to check in, not to chase anyone down. At the same time, my dad doesn't sugarcoat anything. When I asked him about racist cops, he said, of course there are some, and some of them don't even know they're racist. He said racism isn't always about slurs or violence. It's about assumptions, body language, who you decide to pull over, or who you give a warning to. That stuck with me. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and deadly. I get caught in the middle too. Kids at school say things like, all cops are pigs, and then look at me like I'm supposed to nod along. And when I say my dad's a cop, suddenly it's awkward. They backpedal, or they double down. I've had people ask if he ever shot someone, if he ever arrested his own people. I don't even know what to say to that. It's hard to explain that he's not one of them, but also that them isn't always what you think either. Being a cop doesn't erase the fact that he's black, and being black doesn't mean he hates the job. He just sees it from all sides. That's what he always says. You gotta look at it from all sides. He doesn't expect people to trust the police. He just wants them to trust him. And I think that's why he started PR. Not to fix everything overnight, not to clear his name, but because he's one of the few people who understands what it means to live in both worlds. And he knows how easy it is to lose your footing in either one. So yeah, my dad's a black cop. And if he wasn't, maybe I'd see things differently too. But I've watched him try to make the badge mean something, even when the world's screaming at him from both sides. And I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, but it makes it real.